How to determine which of the many MMORPG is the best? Is this the one where you have to throw fire at demons and cut them to pieces with a blazing sword? Or maybe it needs to solve ancient mysteries and fight against Lovecraftian nightmares. Let's figure it out. World of Warcraft Classic. Thousands of World of Warcraft fans were nostalgic for the complexity and charm of the very first version of the game, and the launch of WoW Classic fulfilled all their desires. WoW Classic, which recreates the game from 2006 before the release of the Burning Crusade expansion, welcomed veterans and newcomers alike, united by a pleasant sense of community that is simply necessary without quest markers and automatic dungeon finding. Access to the game is included with a standard World of Warcraft subscription. Even if you're familiar with the modern game, getting used to Classic's notoriously difficult leveling can be quite difficult. And while some hardcore fans might argue that spending a few hours in a WoW Classic dungeon with the sole intent of killing the final boss, only to find out that he's gone and can't be summoned again is part and parcel of the adventure, chances are they just want you to suffer just as they did in their time. Lost Ark. A free-to-play isometric MMORPG powered by Unreal with a huge open world to explore in a vibrant, intense combat combo system. At the moment, the project has 5 archetypes: warrior, mage, shooter, assassin, and monk. Each has 2 to 4 archetypes that use unique skills and weapon sets. The game is Korean, which means it has a lot of grind and glossy characters. The plot is pretty mediocre, but the graphics are excellent. Do not confuse it with games like Diablo. Lost Ark is completely different. Entropia Universe. Fantastic multiplayer game from Swedish developers. A distinctive feature of the project is considered to be a unique monetization model, thanks to which players can turn game currency into real money and vice versa. However, among other things, the game has 5 huge and very beautiful planets, a multi-stage character development system, a good picture, and a shareware distribution model. Royal Quest. A colorful top-down MMO from Russian Igrodlov, the action in which takes place in the techno-magical world of Aura. The game is filled with both standard solutions for the genre, such as a class system with subsequent specializations, crafting, PvE and PvP activities, and non-standard ones, such as cards falling out of monsters, with bonuses and upgrades. In addition, the creators of the game are the authors of the legendary King's Bounty, which had a very positive effect on the drawing and quality of the texts. Lineage 2 Essence. A relatively fresh NC-soft project built on the basis of the classic Lineage 2. That is, the world and heroes familiar to old-timers, supplemented with new events, mass events, a unique Death Knight class, PvP activities, enhanced pets, and a redesigned character development system. In addition, nothing prevents fans from returning to the realities of the regular and classic game. One way or another, Lineage is deservedly considered one of the best MMO of its time, and for many it remains so to this day. Albion Online. Once again, an isometric, but PvP-oriented sandbox MMO in a world whose economy and borders are determined by the strongest guilds. The difficulty is that the most valuable resources and treasures are mined outside of peaceful areas, where players eager for profit scurry about, and death promises a complete loss of equipment and even amount. The project is designed for users who love to rob caravans and besiege enemy fortresses, working as a team. Black Desert. One of the most popular MMO from Pearl Abyss today, which captivated players with stunning graphics, huge picturesque locations, an abundance of interesting classes, and a very dynamic and combat system that even grinds with joy. Black Desert offers a bunch of activities like fishing, taming and breeding horses, renting industrial buildings and buying houses, transporting caravans, and of course, hunting for other players and world bosses. The project is regularly updated with content and new characters. Crowfall. A non-standard game with an emphasis on non-target PvP, in the creation of which the creative director of Ultima Online took part. Players travel the worlds in search of resources and relics, and each time they incarnate in the form of new creatures, while maintaining the main progression branch and spend peaceful time crafting in their own hubs. The project is distributed according to the buy-to-play model and is currently in early alpha. Elyon, a non-standard game with an emphasis on non-target PvP, in the creation of which the creative director of Ultima Online took part. Players in it travel worlds in search of resources and relics, and each time they incarnate in the form of new creatures, while maintaining the main progression branch and spend peaceful time crafting in their own hubs. The project is distributed according to the buy-to-play model and is currently in early alpha. Swords of Legends Online, a non-standard game with an emphasis on non-target PvP, in the creation of which the creative director of Ultima Online took part. Players in it travel worlds in search of resources and relics, and each time they incarnate in the form of new creatures, while maintaining the main progression branch and spend peaceful time crafting in their own hubs. The project is distributed according to the buy-to-play model and is currently in early alpha. Conqueror's Blade, a non-standard game with an emphasis on non-target PvP, in the creation of which the creative director of Ultima Online took part. Players in it travel the worlds in search of resources and relics, and each time they incarnate in the form of new creatures, while maintaining the main progression branch and spend peaceful time crafting in their own hubs. The project is distributed according to the buy-to-play model and is currently in early alpha. Ragnarok Online, another veteran on our list who recently returned to life. All the same lamp anime picture, isometric and uncomplicated gameplay, a two-stage character development system, squares flooded with merchants, and ocean of grind. At the moment, classic and high-rate servers are open for players. Aion, the second memorable creation of NC Soft, partially inheriting the mechanics of Lineage. The events of Aion take players to a world split by a cataclysm, in which, under the yoke of a dragon-like race, the irreconcilable Elyos and Asmodeans coexist. Very colorful, in its own way hardcore MMORPG on CryEngine with air combat, numerous PvPvE activities, and an interesting class system. Book of Travels, a heartwarming adventure game described by the developers as a teamwork. Here players will embark on a journey through a world full of amazing events and breathtaking landscapes to write their own unique story. Book of Travels is still in early access. Bless Unleashed, another relaunch of the long-suffering Bless, is a fantasy MMO with a large world and coverage for the genre with a set of activities. The game is still found in many poor people, from nasty difficulty to aggressive monetization. However, if you have been wanting for a long time, this is your chance to finally try the project for free. Blue Protocol, a fantasy MMORPG developed by Bandai Namco Anime. The creators promise a rich universe and deeply developed features, and the diaries show sharp pictures and a dynamic combat system. Zenith, The Last City, an MMORPG in a futuristic anime setting for a natural reality headset, is under active development. The VR project promises to give users much more freedom that belongs to the representatives of the genre. For example, to develop free gestures and communicate when meeting a voice, climb any objects and belong on a fundamentally new level. Parry, counterattack, apply magic formulas and dodge as if it were a real fight. Palia, a colorful multiplayer life simulator in the spirit of Stardew Valley from former employees of Blizzard, Riot Games, and Epic Games. The game offers a world-class pastime for catching fish, caring for a garden, building an environment with neighbors. Promised a lot of story content and interesting mechanics. The release date has not yet been announced. Ashes of Creation, a nice-looking project with an open world rich in details, the development of which, according to the developers, will be influenced by the players themselves. According to the canons of the genre, sieges, dungeons, crafting, building, and caravans are planned. You can already study the implementation of some mechanics in the free Battle Royale Apocalypse, which takes place in the game world. Crimson Desert, one of the next creations of Pearl Abyss, the action in which will unfold on the harsh continent of Pavel. Outwardly similar to BDO, the game was created on a new high-tech engine, and now everyone can apply to participate in the closed beta. Crimson Desert is scheduled to release in 2022 on PC and consoles. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, watch our other videos, press like, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.